I'm Ray.
And I'm Jen, and we're Rubber Family Reviews. And well, we were gonna do a video while we were in Ohio for Origins, but well, that didn't happen. So
Nope.
We're home, but we decided to kind of talk about our experiences and some of the games we brought back. So we did two parts of our trip. First, we flew into Chicago and then we did some driving. So we did a bunch of board game cafes, which is something we can't do here, and that was really cool because I really like the idea of being able to play something before you before you buy it. And then there's a bunch of games we played that we're not going to buy. They're good games, but we don't own them. It was kind of cool that we played them and got to enjoy them. So probably before you even get to Origins, our favorite board game cafe. Want to do that?
Whatever you want to do.
It's such a pain. But anyways, so we went to 3 different board game cafes.
I think so. Yeah. Malted Meeple, Tabletop,
and Snakes and Lattes in Chicago. Our favorite was Tabletop in Cleveland, and kind of a combination of it, a really good selection of games, both new and old stuff. They had a good selection of food available and reasonable parking in the area to get to, which that's a major factor in a lot of these bigger cities.
Parking in Snakes and Lattes was fine. We were right up front.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Chicago traffic, we'll just leave it there. But that was really fun. It was a really cool experience. We had fun. But then we got to Origins. This is my first time at Origins. We actually took the kids a couple years ago, and we did 4 hours at
4-hour run, speed run.
Yeah. But this was the first time I've actually done the convention. Ray's done it a couple of times.
I've done a lot more conventions than you have. That's why believe it or not, that's why I'm actually letting you go. Because I've done Adepticon for 20 years.
Yeah.
For wargaming and stuff, so.
So this was my first real convention experience. And we did 3 days.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. I really liked, obviously it was fun with the exhibit hall, and that's what we'd really just done 4 years ago. But I liked getting to play different games. We liked being taught games. It was really nice. We're used to being the ones to teach games, so it was really fun to be taught games. There were some really cool deals. There was some stuff that wasn't, but there was a lot of stuff that was brand new that isn't available anywhere else. But overall, everyone was really nice, and it was a lot of fun to play with everyone.
Yep.
And it was really cool. The Origins library was really neat because then we could, again, check out games and play them before we bought them.
It was a sizable library, but they were missing some stuff,
Yeah. Honestly, their library probably really wasn't any better than Tabletop's.
I think it was.
Yeah. They didn't have... So Tabletop had a lot of family games that were aimed for people coming in with families. Yeah. So they've got stuff, you wouldn't find those type of games in the one at Origins.
Yeah, you're not going to find a whole lot of Candyland and Scrabble there.
Yeah. But all the board game cafes have them, and it makes sense, because honestly, those get played as people walk in.
When we were in Tabletop, we were grabbing some stuff that we hadn't seen. So Lanterns, Dice, we did Mint Works, but while we were there, somebody came in and was obviously overwhelmed, and he just said, "Look, I don't know what any of this stuff is. Where do you have just Scrabble?" And they had a deluxe Scrabble board, and that really did finalize my impression. It was really good. They had beer and the food menu there. So yes, we are kind of given a notice that the Malted Meeple had full bar and milkshakes, but they were going out of business. So that's kind of a bummer. I'm jumping in on those two. Snakes and Lattes had breakfast food, but they were having some supply chain issues, so there wasn't their whole menu wasn't available. But they had a lot of the new hotness. They probably had the newest collection, though Tabletop had a lot of new games also. You like to point out they had the North Sea trilogy up front and center, but they had a bunch of some of the newest games that were just out were on the shelves off to the side. So
they all had different, and both Snakes and Lattes and Tabletop were teaching people games.
Yeah.
We got taught games at Snakes and Latte, and they're really clear. They're going to teach you the game. Tabletop was more, if you ask us, we'll come teach it, because I saw them teaching to people, though we taught ourselves the game, though honestly, we didn't play anything that we really needed help figuring out, so.
Stone Age was probably the most complex, and that was pretty easy. We got to play with our friend Jason, so.
Yeah. But that was our first part, and then so we got to Origins, and it was the first day. It was, I think, a couple things learning from the experience was that it is helpful to sign up for events, but it was easy to drop in on events too. We signed up for one together, Smartphone Inc., Mobile Markets.
You keep saying smartphone.
Well, I know it's Mobile Markets, a Smartphone Inc. game.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Different games.
But we played that the first night, and then he did BattleTech Alpha Strike or something like that.
I played BattleTech a lot in the past, but it's a sluggish game. It's fun, but it's like spreadsheets and the like. I wanted to try their speeded up, refined system. Alpha Strike was great, so I have the rule book. So.
Well, and then both Dice Miner and Orleans we didn't sign up for, but we ended up kind of dropping into those, and that was really cool because I do think that I wouldn't mind signing up for a few more events if we did another one. Kind of that was nice because then they were set up to teach you, whereas the demos in the exhibit hall, actually there's some really good demos we did. But sometimes kind of waiting for the chance to demo if people were already demoing, they're halfway through, there was a lot more flux there. Most of them, though, you could tell the people set up to demo were prepped and they knew how much to teach you. Like a lot of them, okay, we're going to play 2 of these 4 rounds, you'll get the gist of it. Furnace. And so most of them really had it down, and there was plenty of people. Most of the exhibitors I felt weren't really pushy, which was really nice, but they were there to help and answer any questions. And some were more demos, whereas others were, let's play this game and actually get it out. So
we played full game of Sobek. We didn't buy it, but we did play a full game of Sobek, and we played half a game of Brew.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a variety of stuff, and having not been around a lot of people, it wasn't too bad most of the time. I don't think either of us felt very crowded most of the time. It was mask required, which was their decision, which we don't care about.
Us,
but
one way or another.
I'm sure some people had stuff to say about it, but that was kind of a no-go either way for us. We didn't really care.
Yeah.
But it really was in the exhibit hall, just chaotic.
Yeah.
Definitely at times you kind of felt like there was people going every which way, but for the most part it didn't feel overcrowded, and there was tons of room, like over in the game library area. We noticed, having been there a couple years into the 4 hours, we noticed there was some kind of gaps of people we expected to see that weren't there, and that's either just simply because they're taking a break, or if we're wondering if just maybe not everyone's back to full convention steam. For instance, BGG wasn't there, and we were kind of looking for BGG, looking for promos and things, and they weren't there. But no, it was a really good experience. I think it was a lot of fun, and we'll do it again in a different one. So.
Yep. We also did go. I should point out before we got there, we went to the game room in Toledo. That's what the game room, right? And we found some older games that were on our list, like Unicorns Nights and Pioneer Days, which are out of print, hard to find. So that was pretty cool, and we got to play a game there. We played Cascadia. Yep,
they had a library open, and they had really nice space to play, and so that was nice because we did find some stuff there that we hadn't seen around.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the convention we saw stuff that was brand new, like hasn't even hit market yet. But there we saw some older stuff. So we want to talk kind of about some of the stuff we brought home from various things along the way. Obviously, we were stopping at game stores looking for deals or things we couldn't find, but then also what we got at the convention. So.
And that includes expansions. So in a place in Kent, we were visiting friends there. This was a road trip for us. Jennie and I got to go on a road trip together alone, which has been a while. And we found an expansion for Cytosis, which I didn't know existed. And it is for the 2nd edition, which we got, the virus expansion. And the harder to find Takenoko Chibi's expansion. So we got those actually different locations, and at least one of the places, we were able to get, in this case, expansions for Starcadia Quest that I didn't get, the Robots expansion, for half off. So it was...
Yeah, that was, I think, the Asmodee one.
Could be. Could have
Warehouse
been
sales. So that was, and then some expansions that I found. So that one was, that last one was the convention.
Yep.
Takenoko was, I think that was
convention.
It might have been, or I don't remember. Some kind of expansions that I found. So this is Zularetto. We have Zularetto. We bought it actually at a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
It's missing one piece. But $5. And we actually bought both the expansions we didn't have. And I probably wouldn't have bought them except they were $5 each. And like, oh, okay, I'll do that. We got all the new expansions for cartographers. They had a bundle at the convention where you could get all the newest ones. And so that was pretty exciting because I'm excited to play the new maps. And this was actually my biggest excitement. So this is the update pack for Dominion Seaside. And we have discovered the app for Dominion, and we've been playing that a lot. It works really good. And we knew that there was an update for Dominion. They did a new edition, and I didn't know the cards were out, and they had them. And I guess they've only printed like 400, 300 of them were at the convention. And by the time we got there was like 50 left. So they probably all sold out, but we were pretty excited because this is definitely something I wanted. The pirate card in this one, awesome. The Prosperity one isn't out yet, but it's out on the app, so that was kind of exciting.
We also found some games at half-price books. Turning them in, you don't get as much money, but they do actually have board games there. And we found Roman Roll and
we got Three Sisters.
Three Sisters.
And Isle of Cats Explore and Draw.
So we got 3 roll and write, flip and write games of different complexities at half their normal cost. This one's hard to find.
This one, we just played Isle of Cats, and it feels exactly like Isle of Cats. I would rather, if you gave me both, I'd rather play the actual game. This definitely transports better, and what's cool is they actually specifically designed this to play virtually, which I thought was really cool. This one is kind of cool because I'm pretty sure we looked at the Kickstarter for this and passed because he hates roll and writes with more than one sheet. He has a vendetta against roll and writes.
Not a huge roll and write fan.
And he doesn't like the ones, it's like to roll and write to be simple and straightforward if it gets too complex. He hates
Fleet,
the dice game. So because he likes this one better, I agreed that we can get rid of Fleet, the dice game, and we're keeping this one instead. So
yeah. So one of the ones that we played and I immediately went and purchased was Brew, which its title is pretty much pointless. But Brew is a dice placement, area control, action selection game, and it turned out to be a blast. And at the convention, it was 30% off plus promos, so we went with it. I also was a big fan, and I know a lot of other people have played it. Megalab Metro. I really enjoyed this one. Made you play it when we got home. But I ran and played a play of this at the convention and enjoyed it. Then what was really cool is they didn't have Blitzkrieg out to play, but I was looking for it, talking about it in the library, and one of the other people at the convention said, "Hey, I just bought it. I want to learn it. Will you figure it out with me and we'll test it out?" Played 2 plays of it there, and then went and bought it because it goes out of print pretty regularly. So we played this one, Brew, and Dice Miner, which is just a fun. It is pretty interesting dice drafting, but it's just fun. There's not.
It was nice. There's a fair bit unique in that one for a typical kind of push your luck dice game, and that was what was really cool about that one. what I was going to say is before I get to what I did at the convention, these were games we picked up before I got to the convention. This is Istanbul. We played this at the Malted Meeple, and then they had it on sale because they're going out of business.
Yeah, it says that, but it was not.
Yeah, I don't think we actually
$40.
paid that.
It was less.
But what's funny about Istanbul is we've looked at it like a bunch of times. I'm like, would we like it? Would we not? Well, we finally got a chance to play it. And then we liked it enough that, let's purchase it because they had it there.
That's one of the older ones.
Yeah. And the Mint Delivery we actually got free with another purchase at one of the game stores in Cleveland. But then we played Mint Works at the Game Cafe in Cleveland, and we really liked Mint Works. I think we'll pick up Mint Works. We got to play Mint Delivery.
Yeah.
Now
we
for
haven't
me,
played that one yet.
in the thing, so mobile markets we scheduled and we played the full game of, and this was really good. We'd seen the reviews for this in Smartphone Inc. And like, we might like this one. Listening to the comparisons, we probably won't even bother to seek out Smartphone Inc. or try it because what they took out of it was the area control, and I hate area control. Like he feels about World and Right, that's where I am on area control.
I don't despise it. You despise area control.
Well, there's a few games that but yeah. But this was a lot of fun. It was cool to make your, phone, and then you try to sell them. And do you want to make it cheap and see if you can sell to more people? And order really mattered because all the customers would already get bought out. Yep. So this was a lot of fun. And of course, this really isn't available anywhere yet. So, we didn't mind just playing MSRP for this one. Yep. And then Orleans, I actually got to play in one of the events. Mm-hmm. And so I got to play a full game of it. He didn't play it, but I know he loves bag building. Yeah. So it's pretty much, this was almost, if I liked it, we knew he was going to like it. And I've already had him play it since we got home, and he did like it. And then the convention, nice deal. You could buy this and all the expansions for one price and big savings. So, it was kind of a no-brainer to get the whole thing. So that was cool.
I like that one a lot. You are ambivalent for Maglev Metro. I think you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. We'll have to see with more players on that one. And then the other one we got a deal on was Great Western Trail 2nd Edition. And this one had to play it first, but they had the first edition in the library. And so we had some friends there who taught us the game, which was really nice. And then we played a full game of 1st edition, and then this was on sale at the Asmodee warehouse clearance sale. And so we got a copy of the 2nd edition. And we both really enjoy. This is our type of worker placement, and you're building your different worker placements. We both,
It's worker placement rondelle.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're creating the rondelle, and it's neat. And you go back and forth, and it's one of those trail games. You're going up and down, but you're continually going around in a circle, much kind of like Trails. Mm-hmm. And Ray really likes that because then you're not ever waiting. Some of these games where you have to wait for the other person to catch up or something, and this one you just kind of continuously go between turns. And so again, this was really fun because we got to play it first and then purchase it, and that's definitely, I think, as we were figuring out what we did, that idea of I'm not purchasing anything unless we played it. Now
there were a couple of examples, and this is not everything we bought. So first of all, we overdid it, but this one is one of the ones where we bought without trying it. We both liked Oh My Goods, but we wanted more. It kind of, each time we played it, we were like, okay, and this is Expedition to Newdale, and it was dirt cheap, and it's the board game version of Oh My Goods. We're willing to try, for the price we got it for, we're willing to try it to see if it fills in that gap. And it's, same person that did Great Western Trail, so.
Yeah. Well, and what's, so we got, I think, some really good deals on stuff, and we got, we tried, though we did get a lot played. We really didn't come home with that much unplayed, which was really nice, because it felt like, okay, we know what we're coming home with. Now, of course, for us, shipping is an issue, so honestly, supply and shipping is an issue. So for us, when we go out, we do plan on buying board games and bringing them home, because we know it's going to take an extra couple months to get to us if it does. And then there's Amazon and the big boxes, but cool stuff, they say they have shipping deals, they don't.
It's okay.
Not to Alaska.
But the cool stuff specifically says Continental.
Yeah,
We get mad at the ones that say free shipping US, and then you're surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so shipping is definitely an issue for us. So we're willing to haul them home when we can.
Yeah, and we hauled a lot home. A lot of expansions. More expansions than I think. Well, definitely more than unplayed games.
Well, and expansions are something a lot of times that can be kind of hard. They don't always come in. They kind of peter in. So, that was fun. Yeah. Some games we played that we didn't end up buying. Sobek was one of them, which is a cute little two-player, but we were thinking we'd rather play Targi, but we can definitely see the market for a game like Sobek.
This is going to be a long video.
That's okay.
Okay.
Furnace, which, if you like It's a Wonderful World...
We really debated on that one. That one was close to getting.
That one was really good. The biggest issue is we got rid of It's a Wonderful World because it's one of those it's all about the tightness, efficiency, and you got to get it done in the X amount of rounds. I think they're both 4 rounds. But I'm not very good at that, and I get frustrated because I want 2 more rounds to play with the engine I'm making. A game like Gizmos we like better because it feels like I get a little bit more time. And I understand that's the game. And if you like those really tight efficiency engines, you will love Furnace. I mean, I think there's some really cool pieces to Furnace.
If we could find it for the right price, we might even consider it. But we actually prefer London for time.
Because again, I feel like I have a little bit more time. It's not as efficiency driven. There's more like kind of work up to it time. Whereas, a game like It's a Wonderful World or Furnace is all about, okay, you've only got 4 rounds. You have to make every round count in the fullness, and you've got to have a plan. And I never have a plan. I want to do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
And I don't mind losing. If I'm not going to get to play with what I'm down, that's not fun to me. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I consistently lose Dominion. Couldn't care less because I have fun doing it. But a game like that, well, no, I didn't have fun because you didn't let me finish.
Yep.
And that's me. That's not someone else. We demoed we demoed Distilled because we've actually already kickstarted that, and now we've already kind of seen it played. We've seen all the pieces, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so
we played quite a few games. We played 37 games. 27 were new to us.
Yeah,
on our trip.
And we played a lot at the board game cafes that are games that, this is pretty good, but Lanterns and Lanterns Dice, for instance. I've heard so much about both of them. I'm like, I want to play them. And they're games I might have eventually picked up. Not going to pick them up. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're games we don't need to have in our collection. We have enough similar things. Or Tiny Towns was another one. We've looked at it at Target so many times. Well, if it came down another $5, now we know even if it comes down another $5, we don't need it. It's not a bad game, but we don't personally need it. So that was really, that was a lot of fun. So that was our experience, and I think we had a good time.
I had a good time.
Yes, and we came home with lots of fun stuff to play.
Yep.
So, okay, well, hopefully, if you haven't been to a convention, you'll get to go check one out at one time or another.
Origins is a really good one to start with. It's big enough that there's stuff, but it's not too big. It's not crushing crowds or anything, and it's a dedicated board game convention. So it's
also very, very family friendly.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of kids.
Yep.
It's very inclusive for kids, and so it's one of those that if you want to bring kids to, that's a good one to go to. And there was a lot of stuff we didn't do, like pretty much anything you could think of.
Yeah.
There was a room for it. And an event set up for it.
We never did make it to the Unpub prototype game.
Yeah, but there was a slot for everyone.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is because Columbus is actually a really nice city, and there's a lot of food and other stuff within it. There's a lot of parking within it, so it's actually also easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Which is a plus, especially if it can be your first time. Now there's a lot of really small ones, but then those you almost need to already know some people before you go. So he's been to a bunch of those. I've really not been to anything.
Well, that's not my fault. You were always invited. You just didn't want to.
Well, we also didn't, when we were living in Ohio, I didn't want to drag we had preschool kids at that point. Now we have teenagers. They're easy to bring stuff. So.
All right. We're going to end this one because we like talking about it. But go ahead and leave us comments about your experiences with conventions. Tell me how it went. You know,
And maybe what are some of your favorite conventions you've been to? If we were to do another one, where should we go?
Yep. All right. Thanks. Have a good night.